Okay, so Alexis, how much do you use your cell phone in a day?
Probably all day.
Okay, what about you, Kim?
What percent of time?
Yes.
Maybe 10% of the day with
Okay.
email checking.
What about you, Donna?
I would say probably 50%. I use my phone a lot.
Probably 88%.
Okay,
Wow.
well, a recent study show that the average person will look at their phone at least 150 times a day.
Wow.
So, yes. Okay, so Dawn, how much harm can answering a text or taking a phone call while driving do?
Oh my
you
gosh.
think?
It can kill people. Very, very dangerous.
What do you think, Caleb?
Say again?
How much harm can answering a text or taking a phone call while driving do?
It could kill you.
Okay, Alexis?
Well, you could get in a wreck and, like they said, you could get killed.
And kill others.
Okay.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, when a teenager is on the phone while driving, it slows down their reaction speed to the rate of like a 70-year-old. And answering a text takes away your attention for about 5 seconds, which is enough time to travel the length of a football field.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Okay, and Alexis, about how many times have you heard of cell phones being the cause of accidents?
Probably every teacher is telling me that. The science teacher, they give us presentations and they have like these signs saying don't text and drive, and so it could be very harmful.
Okay, what do you think, Dawn?
I think that I've seen it on TV shows and I see it on the news and I hear about it all the time. So I believe it to be true, that it's very dangerous.
Okay, and Caleb?
I hear it like everywhere, so it is very dangerous.
And you?
I believe it too. I think the commercials that show the danger are not just the danger, but the result, the crash impact and the really messed up cars. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as a driver, you can tell when people do things that you have to be defensive
Correct.
in response to. You can pretty much tell
Yeah.
people are texting.
Right.
Well, in 2009, about 6,000 deaths and 500,000 injuries were caused by drivers who were distracted by their cell phones.
Wow. That is scary.
Okay, what do you think are some negative effects of having a cell phone, Caleb?
You can like fail school because it can go in your brain and like could visualize you from school.
Okay, and you, Dawn?
I think that it can become almost like an addiction where people get on it for different reasons and it becomes more important than relationships. I'm talking from personal experience on that one. So I use my phone a lot for business. So I think it can be good, but I think the negative is that it can, I think people will use their phone more so to communicate than actually in person, which you lose on relationships.
And what do you think?
Can you state the question one more time?
What do you think are some negative effects of cell phones?
Negative effects, in addition to the fact that people use that as the relationship builder instead of in person. What is it, 93% of communication is nonverbal. So text, through a text, cannot necessarily portray what you are trying to communicate, so that kind of plays into the relationship bit. But it's also, there was a study recently on how multitasking can decrease effectiveness in a lot of workplace. So the split of attention and loss of focus, playing off of what he said was school. Maybe you're not doing your homework because you're owned by the phone
Right.
and codependent on it.
Yeah.
So
Good point.
Okay, well, what do you think, Alexis?
I think you can get addicted to it, and like there's some apps like Instagram, and
tell me about that Instagram addiction.
I'm very addicted to it. Yes, because it's a lot of fun, but it's very bad because it can become your life, and so yeah.
Okay, well, it can be used at times when it's not supposed to, because 65% of high school students use their cell phones in class, and 1/4 of text messages sent from teens are sent during class hours. And it has consumed the skills of society because 42% of teens say they can text with their eyes closed. And people usually socialize on their phones nowadays. 47% of teens say that their social life would end without their cell phone. Also, it can be used as a form of bullying. 9 out of 10 teens have a cell phone, and 1 out of 5 of them is bullied through text.
Wow.
It can cause many problems for the person being bullied, such as anxiety, depression, social withdrawal, violence, or even suicide.
Yeah, because I've been bullied before.
They have been the recipient of cyberbullying.
Wow. He's an expert.
So, what are some positive effects of cell phones, Alexis?
The positive? Well, it could be fun.
Okay, let's go to someone else. Dawn.
I think the positives are that it's a quick, effective communication. I can reach people these days that in places that they could never be reached at before. I think it's great for research. I think it is entertaining, and it's a phone. You can be on the go and stay communicated.
What do you think I saw?
On the go, absolutely. On the go connections with what you need to business-wise. If you can handle the multitasking, and maybe there's a balance therein in learning to complete a task and controlling when you're looking at it, so it's not just maybe decreasing it, would you say 150 looks a day? Decreasing that.
Average, yeah.
Or if you're standing in line, you need to get something done for your kids.
Yes.
If your kids need something and you're a working mom, you're in the middle of something, you can know what they need faster access in crisis situations. And again, when you've got lulled moments, you can be productive.
Okay, and Caleb.
I think it's good because when you're like getting chased by people, like bad people, you could like call 911, and if like you're in the forest and a bear is chasing after you, you can call your parents.
And hope you have a signal out in the woods.
Hope you
Huh?
don't die.
At that point, it might be better for a weapon to throw.
Yeah. Or 911.
No, you can throw your phone
After you make your 911 call.
Right.
Okay, well, it gives immediate communication anywhere. Like, if a teen is at a party and she feels uncomfortable, she doesn't have to ask to use the landline or find a phone.
Good point.
And, or even more, if a car breaks down, they can call a ride and a tow truck with the click of a button. Also, you can keep in touch with all relatives or friends who have moved away. And it helps with safety. Sometimes for a teenager, a cell phone is the difference between life and death. If a criminal activity is happening, they can call 911 without pulling any attention by dialing in their pocket. Many phones have camera and video capability, so they can video a crime, therefore making the reporter/investigator helping the police solve a crime.
Good point.
Very good.
Yes.
And so, Dawn, when do you think children should receive a cell phone?
I think it depends on their maturity level and their level of responsibility. I think it's good for all ages just to be able to be in contact with them these days, because I think we live in a crazy world. However, I have 2 children, and one has a cell phone because I think that she is responsible enough to have one.
Until she broke it.
And my other one, I don't feel is mature enough yet to have it. I know that if I gave him one, he would go to school with it and he would not return with it.
Okay, what do you think, Alexis?
Well, since I'm a kid, I would say 1st grade. But since I am immature sometimes with my phone, and I sometimes leave it, but I get it, and I'm sometimes really responsible. But I would say probably about 5th grade, because you have the more, like, you're old enough to know that you can take responsibility with your phones. So I would say about 5th grade.
Okay, what do you think age should be for kids to get a cell phone?
Yeah, I think that it's a blend of when the child is ready, in addition to the needs but probably around 5th, 6th grade is a good age. Because there'll be moments where they're at extracurricular activities without a parent. You know, if you've got a parent with you, you know, we need it. But at the point that you've got more independence, it could indicate that.
Right.
Okay, Caleb, when do you think a child should get a cell phone?
Well, I think probably 9.
And let me guess, you
Guys.
don't have a cell phone, huh?
No, I have a cell phone.
Oh.
9 because they need to get one early to know how to text and do the phone stuff.
Okay, well, research shows that 84% of Americans have a cell phone at age 12 and 31% have a smartphone.
Wow.
Okay, so Dawn, what are the different things you use your cell phone for? Some examples are entertainment, business, etc.
Okay, I use my cell phone very, very much for business. I use it for texting with friends and clients, and I use it for Googling research, but my main use of my phone is business and staying in touch with my kids and friends.
Okay, what are some different things that you use your cell phone for, Caleb?
What do you mean?
Like, what do you use it for?
Oh, I use it for like games and mostly games.
Okay, what do you use your cell phone for, Alexis?
Games, Instagram, texting, sometimes phone. I really use that, just texting and games.
Okay, what about you?
Oh, and sometimes for school.
Okay, what about you, Kim?
Telephone and email and texting, largely.
Oh, I forgot
And
the
somewhat
email.
Googling.
Yeah.
A lot of email.
Yes, in my business, I get a little beep that I have an email, and it's very important. I forgot about the email.
Oh, and camera and video.
Oh, yeah,
and
and
recording.
camera and yeah, that's
Yeah.
I use that a lot.
Wow. Guess we use them for a lot of things.
Okay, well, the study, for example, found that more than half of all adult cell phone owners, 51%, use their handsets at least once for quick information retrieval in the last month. This could be firing up your browser to ask a question, launching an app to find a nearby restaurant, or tapping into your smartphone-based map to get directions. About 1/4 of Americans, 27%, said they experienced a situation in the past month in which not having their cell phones at hand caused them to have trouble doing something.
Very good information.
Very good.
Thank you.
Interesting statistics.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Well, that was our cell phones, PSP.
And on that note, I just got a text.
So does that conclude our panel discussion?
Yes.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Nicole. Thank you for the